Hey guys, Dr. Axe here, founder of draxe.com and Doctor of Functional Medicine. Today I'm going to share with you my 5 tips for natural treatments for low testosterone. And if you have low testosterone like many men do, you're going to find that these natural cures will absolutely help you overcome it fast. In fact, I think after watching this video, if you implement my about 5 or 6 step process here, you're going to notice changes in probably 24 to 48 hours that fast. And the number one thing you can start to do to overcome low testosterone is start intermittent fasting. Now, intermittent fasting, listen to this, has been shown to increase testosterone by 400%. That's amazing, 400% increase in testosterone if you do it along.
Hi, this is Dr. Mercola, and you've probably heard that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, right? Wrong. I believe that actually skipping breakfast can be one of the most profoundly powerful strategies you can have to optimize your health. And by that, I mean maintaining your ideal body weight effortlessly without any hunger, having phenomenal energy, and sleeping great. The process we use to describe this is called intermittent fasting. And by that, I mean not having any food to eat except in the 6 or 8 hour window. And this is something that our ancestors did all the time. They did not have access to a grocery store 24/7. Now, this is a process that you don't start all at once. You want to gradually go into it and by basically dipping your toes into water. And I believe one of the best ways to do this is to not have anything to eat or drink except water for 3 hours before you go to bed. And then when you get up, go as long as you can until you first start to eat breakfast. And then gradually, every day, extend that time forward to the point where you'll find that you're not having breakfast at all. And this will take several weeks to several months. The reason why it takes a long time is that most everyone watching this is adapted to burning carbohydrate as your primary fuel and not fat. And your body can only store about 6 to 12 hours of carbohydrates in the form of glycogen in your liver or your muscles. And once you exhaust that, you're going to become hungry. And the key here is what you achieve with intermittent fasting is by gradually shifting into it, you encourage your body to improve the manufacture of the enzymes to burn fat, and you downregulate or minimize the production of the enzymes to burn the carbohydrate. So that after that time, you're optimized to burn, you become a fat burner. Now, the fine-tuning of this is really important too, and that is to select the right types of foods within that 6 to 8 hour window. And I believe that you're going to radically improve your health if you reduce your carbohydrates and restrict them to just vegetables and some healthy fruits, but primarily those, and basically eliminate most of the grains. Also reduce your protein to the point where you're having only a few ounces at every meal, basically the size of your fist or a deck of cards. And that with those calories that you decrease with the carbs and the protein, to replace them with healthy fats. And by healthy fats, I do not mean vegetable oils, processed vegetable oils, or trans fats. I mean healthy fats like avocados and coconut oil. And coconut oil is particularly beneficial because it's a short-chain fat and it's rapidly broken down by your body and will help give you energy, very similar to carbs, as you're making this transition, because fatigue is one of the side effects in that transition period. So make sure you're getting plenty of coconut oil. Other fats would be butter and nuts. And the best nut is actually a surprising one. It's actually macadamia nuts. And you're probably wondering why. I thought that was a nut that wasn't good for you. Well, it's actually profoundly beneficial because it has the most fat, the lowest carbs, and the lowest protein. And guess what? The fat that it has is almost identical to the fat that's in olive oil, which is another good fat to have, olive oil and olive. So this has been one of the most profoundly effective strategies that improved my health personally, and I would strongly encourage you and your family to integrate this into your life so that you can take control of your health.
Before I focus on the brain, which will be the main part of my talk, I just want to point out that there's evidence, not just from animals, but from humans, that fasting is good for the body. It will reduce inflammation. It will reduce oxidative stress in organ systems throughout the body. And one thing that happens when you fast that does not happen when you eat 3 meals a day is that your energy metabolism shifts so that you start burning fats. Every time you eat a meal, the energy goes into your liver and it's stored in the form of glycogen. Whoops, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. If you can get the slide back. It's stored in the form of glycogen, and that's always tapped into first. And it takes about 10 to 12 hours before you deplete the glycogen stores in your liver. Okay? So if you eat 3 meals a day, you never deplete the glycogen stores in your liver, although if you exercise, you can. But once you deplete the glycogen stores in your liver, then you start burning fats, and you produce what are called ketone bodies. Now, it turns out ketone bodies are very good for your brain, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Now, we've done a lot of work on animals in the 90s and between 15 and 20 years ago, showing that intermittent fasting was good for the brain. Then we started collaborating with some investigators, did some human studies looking at effects on the body, some that were shown in the last slide. And then a producer at the BBC named Michael Mosley made a program on intermittent fasting that was aired on the BBC. It's been aired on PBS. He wrote a book called The Fast Diet, and just in the last 2 years, there's been a flurry of books on intermittent fasting for health, and it's becoming what I think some people may think it's a fad, but hopefully it will. People can find some of these. So what do I mean by intermittent fasting or intermittent energy restriction? There's a lot of variations that are being used on this. One sort of harsh one is every other day only eat 500 calories. In our human studies, we've been doing what's called the 5-2 diet, where 2 days a week you only eat 500 calories. The other 5 days you eat normally, eat healthy if you can. This book called The 8-Hour Diet, there's evidence that if you restrict the time window that you eat each day to 8 hours or less, it will have health benefits. Again, that's long enough to shift the energy metabolism. Okay, why does fasting bolster brain power?
Hey, Dr. Axe here, Doctor of Natural Medicine and founder of drax.com. In this video, I'm going to be training you on the many benefits of intermittent fasting, what to do and what not to do, and who should do it when it comes to intermittent fasting, and also some of the key foods you're going to want to be eating if you're going to be following intermittent fasting.